Hey guys, welcome to Motoroids. My name is Amit and this is the TVS Orbiter and it's available only in one variant. Now, I have done a very detailed walk around video of this vehicle where I have told you everything about every feature, the specs and everything else, which I'm going to do it again here in this review also. But since we got the chance to ride this bike here, it's important that we talk about the performance first, and that's what we're going to start this review with. Now, it's important that we talk about the specs and who this scooter is meant for. So the specs are supposed to be not very impressive because this scooter is out to do something which is not for the sport oriented audience. The battery pack here is 3.1 kilowatt hour and the power is rated at a humble 2.5 kilowatts. 0 to 40 is taken care of in 6.8 seconds and the top speed is capped at 68 kilometers per hour. That is in the city mode. That's one of the two modes that you have. There is the eco mode also, in which I saw a top speed of 46 kilometers per hour. Now, if you think that those numbers are not very impressive, you would be mistaken because the range on this scooter at 158 kilometers IDC is the highest in its class. And that's down to the fact that the discharge rate has been limited. That's why the top speed has been capped, and that also has an advantage for the learners who can ride this scooter on the learner's license. So this is going to be very attractive for the youngsters who are on a learner's license. For those who typically ride within the city, short distances, don't want a sporty scooter but sufficient performance to go up to 68 kilometers per hour, and most importantly, a scooter which gives them fantastic range at a very small price. Now, the good thing about this scooter is that despite not having the highest of the power figures, the acceleration all the way up to its 60 kilometers per hour speed is brisk. It's not very fast, but it's brisk. Over inclines, it doesn't feel feeble. It feels like it's a strong motor. And even with a payload of 150 kgs, it can climb a gradient of 7 degrees at 20 kilometers per hour. So in terms of its rideability, it feels like a strong scooter. For all the city uses, it feels like it can do all its jobs without much of a problem. So the day-to-day use is not a problem. Another great thing is that the eco mode does not reduce the power discharge, which means that the acceleration is equally strong as the city mode. So all the way until 46 kilometers per hour, the acceleration is as good as the city mode. So whether you are in eco mode or whether you are in city mode, the acceleration is good, only that the eco mode has the speed capped at 46 kilometers per hour on the speedo. I saw 69 kilometers per hour on the speedo in the city mode, and that's the highest I could go to. Now, about the handling, it gets a 14-inch front and it gets a 12-inch rear, and it really helps it go over obstacles like bad speed breakers or potholes really well. There's a ground clearance of 165 mm, and here on this test track around the curve there is a really vicious speed breaker, like really vicious, and the fact that this goes over that speed breaker without any problem or without scraping its belly is something to write home about. And this scooter would be able to handle bad roads really well because of its big front wheel and the generous ground clearance that it has. So that is a big advantage. It comes with a twin telescopic front suspension. At the rear you have twin shocks, and it also comes with 5-step adjustable preload. And we were riding at the softest but one setting, and even on that setting, although we don't have many undulations here, it felt firm but not uncomfortable. This is not a wallowy scooter. It handles pretty well. There are a couple of bends around this test track, and even at its top speed of 68 kilometers per hour, where we were reasonably leaned over, it didn't feel like that it was not stable enough. The only problem, the side stand at one occasion did scrape while I was zigzagging on the straight, so that can be a bit of an issue. It comes with both side and main stands, but the scooter feels pretty stable in a straight line around bends. Braking is one department where this scooter could probably have done better though. It comes with drums up front and at the rear with TVS's patented SBS tech, where it's a fancy marketing gimmick for combined braking system. The tires are 90 section up front and at the rear, and along with the fact that this does not come with a disc brake and ABS, when you brake hard you can hear the tires squealing. The rubber could probably have been a little bit more sticky, and under harsh braking, like when you really want to be squeezing both the brakes, you can feel that the scooter is going slightly out of line. It does not stop in a straight line. So braking is probably the only thing that probably could have been improved, along with a stickier, wider rubber. These tires though are low rolling resistance, and they do their bit in making sure that it goes 158 kilometers IDC. So those skinnier tires are there for a reason. So unless you are really gunning it and braking very hard, I think they are sufficient. In terms of the real world range, of course, you won't get 158 kilometers to the full charge. The real world range would be a little bit less. I cannot attest to the real world range at this point in time because A, I have not ridden it for long enough, and B, and these are not the ideal conditions for me to have a say on that. But having said that, the IDC numbers are highest in this class, and if you're looking for range, then I can tell you something. Unless you are going to be riding on the highway where you want to be cruising at 80-90 kilometers per hour, for city use this scooter is perfectly usable. It accelerates very briskly to 60-65 kilometers per hour, and at 68 also it feels like it's very stable. So the trade-off is very positive. The seat feels very comfortable. Ergonomically this is quite ideal, and not just is the seat flat enough, which allows for seating two really well-built adults very comfortably, it also feels very nice. The seat has very good cushioning to it. It's slightly on the firmer side, but it feels very comfortable. And as you can see, the rider triangle here is very upright, and it's by design. It's meant primarily for city use, and you won't be crouching. So that's a really good thing. You do feel like it's a very nicely set up, very composed, very comfortable scooter. Even when you're swerving it around, it feels very stable. Another great thing is that even for the taller riders amongst you, I am 5 feet 10 by the way, there is ample space here for your knees. So not just is there enough space for your feet, but unlike a lot of other electric scooters where your knees foul with the handle, such is not the case here. You have a lot of space, and the handlebar is very high and wide. So it's really nice and comfortable and roomy. You also have a lot of space here to put any articles like a bag, and you also have a hook here to ensure that the bag won't slide around. So overall, even for the ones amongst you who are well built, this scooter won't feel puny. But having said that, the seat height here is quite low. So at 763 mm, me being 5 feet 10, I can ride this very nicely with a bend, a very generous bend at my knees. And even for ladies, this should not be a problem. The shorter ones amongst you also should be able to ride this scooter very easily. So long story short, in terms of performance, unless you're looking for a scooter which is very sporty, something like say the scooters from the Aether stable, or maybe the TVS X, this is a perfectly usable city scooter. It only has a limitation of its top speed, but if you're going to be riding the scooter for short distances and for the odd jobs, I think it makes perfect sense, and this is a very good trade-off. A top speed traded off for better range, which I think is more important. But here is the thing, this also is not very expensive at 99,900 rupees. It's priced very nicely, especially with all the features that it has. I'm going to talk about them also in a bit. I think the pricing is fantastic, and it does make sense to me because it's engineered around a specific audience who are not out there to ride the scooter aggressively or at a very high speed. They are here to ride it at a sensible pace. Now let's talk about a lot of other features that the scooter has, and as you can see, the design of the scooter is pretty unique. And the fender here, very vertical, not very long. The face, very vertical. This part very vertical, this part very vertical, vertical, back vertical, and then you have this horizontal line slashing through all of those vertical lines. The only slanting curve that you'll see here is on the rear panel. So a very unique design. It's 3-tone and it's available in 6 beautiful funky colors. So it has a character of its own, still very minimal. I quite like the way this thing looks. Lighting all around is LED. You have LED lights here, LED DRLs, and the blinkers are also beautifully integrated into the DRL itself. At the back also, the lighting is LED, and you have the blinkers integrated into the tail lamp. As I mentioned, 14-inch wheels with this very unique kind of a wheel design, twin telescopic forks, and up front you have a 2-tone kind of an apron along with a third color here. You have these graphics. You also have this panel saying Orbiter, and you might want to think that it's going to flip out or something, but that's not the case. And this windscreen also is quite tall. Now The coefficient of drag or aerodynamic ability of this scooter is supposed to be, as claimed by TVS, is the best in class and helps it go further than its rivals. Around the headlamp also you have this grey rim, and the fit finish and the plastic quality is of a very high order. It's finished very nicely, and the quality of plastics and everything, just like a lot of other TVS scooters and motorcycles, is of a very high order. The ORVMs are finished in this glossy black, and moving towards the side you have this USB socket along with this convenience tray where you can put your wallet or cell phone while charging your phone. Also, you can put your phone here so that you have a proper place for your phone to rest while you're riding. Also, your phone can charge. Another great thing about this scooter is that the underseat storage is 34 liters, and as you can see, you can place two half-face helmets without any problem here, which is fantastic. Although you cannot place a full-faced big-sized helmet, but this is a lot of storage, and for your groceries or for any articles, this is really useful. For example, if you're going grocery shopping, you can put in your supplies here without any problem, and it really is a very usable space. The grab rails are very functional. They're quite nicely styled and they're quite functional too. The seat, like I mentioned, is all flat. This is 845 mm of seat length, so two adults can sit here very comfortably. Comes with both side stand and a main stand, and the main stand is very easily usable. The curb weight here is only 112 kgs, so even the lighter and shorter ones amongst you shouldn't have any problem putting this on the main stand. Now, this scooter also comes with hill hold assist, so if you're on an incline, you don't really have to bother about anything. Just press the brakes, release the throttle, and the motor will make sure that the scooter does not roll back. Now, here we have this incline here, bit of a incline. I'm not sure whether I can engage the hill hold assist here, but let's just see. Now, this is on hill hold and the scooter won't go back. Although this is a slight incline, the scooter is not going to go back. And if you have to release the hill hold assist, you just have to use the throttle and the hill hold will be released. So this is a fantastic feature. It's very intuitive also. You don't really have to do anything about it. Although if you want to make sure that this is deactivated, all you have to do is long press this set button, and you have to press the mode then to deactivate the auto hill hold function. This also comes with a cruise control function which is operational between 20 and 60 kilometers per hour, and all you have to do is, let me just demonstrate it to you by putting it on main stand. So once you have crossed say 20 kilometers per hour, you just have to press this once and then it will start blinking, which means that cruise control is ready, and you have to press it again, and now it will keep at 34 kilometers per hour or whatever speed you have engaged the cruise at. As you can see, the rear wheel is spinning, and to cancel it, you can just apply brakes and cruise control will be released. It also comes with two ride modes. Like I mentioned, you have eco and city modes, and the only difference is the top speed is capped at 46 kilometers per hour on the speedo in the eco mode. You have the engine kill switch and the start switch here, and the high low beam and pass switch here, turn indicators, and this is what the horn sounds like. This here is a 5.5 inch LCD screen. You have the turn indicator, high beam, side stand indicator, engine malfunction, which basically is the battery fault indicator, cruise control and turn indicator, and then you have all the basic functions, which is speedo, battery level, charge percentage, odo, the clock, and then you can cycle through the trip A, trip B, and the distance to empty as well. This also comes with connected features, and you can connect the app with this instrument console, and you'll have your geofencing, your time fencing, your live location of the scooter, distance to empty. A lot of functions are available on the app, and you also have Bluetooth connectivity where you can see turn-by-turn navigation, and you also have an incoming call alert here. So all of those features are there on this instrument console as well. The mirrors, they may seem small, but they offer decent visibility. They are square in shape and they're not tapering at the end, so the visibility on the mirrors is pretty decent. It also comes with a lock for the brake, so that in case you have parked it somewhere and it's downhill, it doesn't roll off. The motor here is a hub-mounted unit, and it's generally very silent. Only a wee bit of noise, and that too when you're riding in silent environments. It just makes its presence felt. It's not intrusive or annoying at all, just a wee bit of a whir to let you know that the motor is at work. Acceleration, as I mentioned, is very brisk. The ride quality is slightly on the firmer side. And talking of a few other features, it also comes with a topple or fall alert, where if the scooter falls down, you'll get a notification on the app. Now, the battery here is also water and dust resistant. It's IP67 certified. That means that you can wade through water without any problem. This thing also comes with a 3 years, 50,000 kilometers warranty, which is extendable further by 2 years. And overall, as a value proposition, I think it makes a lot of sense. It is a very focused scooter which has been built after a lot of research and where the need or the void is in the market. So a large percentage of the users are not going after outright performance. They want a reasonably good scooter which can keep up with the city speeds, and I think 68 kilometers per hour within the city limits is a reasonably good speed. But in the bargain, the additional range that you get, I think, is a big bonus, and especially at the price at which this scooter is launched, it makes a lot of sense. At less than 1 lakh rupees ex-showroom, there are very few scooters that can compete with it in terms of the things that it does. In terms of range, there is absolutely no other scooter that can match this one. The Vida V2 Plus, in terms of its pricing, can come somewhat close. The performance also there is slightly better. You can also remove the batteries from that scooter, but I think the fit and finish on this scooter is a lot better. Also, the range on this scooter is a lot better. Ola scooters are cheaper, but it's entirely up to you if you think that those scooters are worth buying, especially after knowing the kind of troubles that those scooters are facing. TVS's very own iQube, the base variant, also price wise is close, but the battery capacity there is a lot less. And if you compare apples with apples, the versions where the battery capacity is 3 kilowatt hour, there are no other scooters which can compare with this one in terms of the range and the features that it offers. So a very well balanced scooter, and if you're someone who's not going after sporty performance, I think it is a very sensible, very well designed scooter, and it offers the things that work really well within the city. Of course, if you want something which is more sporty, which discharges the battery faster, something which has more instant acceleration or rides in a lot more sporty manner, then you have options to choose from. The Aether stable, and TVS itself in the iQube has options available which have higher battery capacity and better acceleration. So there are plenty of options which are available, which go faster, have better acceleration, and maybe better range also, but again, you have to pay a lot more extra for those scooters. What do you think of this machine? Do let me know in the comment section. I personally liked it quite a lot, and I really think that this is a very sensibly made scooter. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to Motoroids, and until next time, this is your friend Amit signing off. Rev hard, rev free, and ride safe.